and welcome back to the next session of our Mandelbulb 3D Tutorial Series, working within the context of an animation project. So in the last session, we were getting ready, we're getting set up to do a forward and a 360 barrel roll, which should be interesting. Now here's where we get a little bit of basic math. All right, let me just use this. Let's say we said that we want to do a 360 degree barrel roll. All right, and we said we're going to do this clockwise, RC, rotate or roll clockwise. And we know here that we have a rolling angle if we can trust that that actually is degrees. I don't know. We're going to find out. All right. Now, if I was to take 360 degrees, all right, let's take 360 and let's divide that by 6. All right, divided by 6. That would mean that we would have to, divided by 6 equals, and that we would have to do 60 keyframes in order to do that roll at 6 degrees per keyframe. All right, so let's I don't want to put 60 keyframes in here. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. Let's say that we had a 10 degree roll. That would be what, 36 frames? Keyframes that we would have to make. Let's say 20 degrees. So what's that? Okay, 360 divided by, okay, yeah, okay, we'll round it to 18 frames. Keyframes, that's not too bad. I could live with that. If we were to do, let's see, 360 divided by 30, all right. All right, we would need 12 keyframes. Now we need to ask ourselves, if we were to do a nice barrel roll at 6 degrees per, that'd be beautiful. It'd be smooth, it'd be wonderful. If we were to do it at 10 degrees, well, it would still be pretty good. All right, I don't know what 10 degrees is by my hand, but if we were to do, say, 30, it gets us within a reasonable number of keyframes. All right, but is 30 a bit jerky? Ooh, I don't know. That might be 30. Well, it might be okay. The only way that we can find out is to try it. We'll try it. So what I'm going for 30. I'm just going to go for 30. I don't want to do 45 because that's going to snap it pretty hard. 20 is probably better, huh? Let's do 20. Let's do 18 keyframes at this move. Move. All right, roll clockwise times 1 times 5. I'm going to make that 20. So I've just decided we're going to do this one right here. All right, because I want a smooth roll, but I don't want to get crazy with the number of keyframes that I have to punch in there. All right, and I need to, before I forget, push that up to 20. Let's do a clockwise. Yeah, that's pretty harsh, huh? That's pretty harsh. All right, watch this now. I'm gonna do 18 of these right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Not bad, not bad. Right back where we began. We did a full barrel roll. We got a nice horizon returned. That 20 degrees does seem to work. It's a little hard, but if we don't plug it in, we won't know. Now I modified this. I got to be very careful. I modified this keyframe here, and I want to restore that. So I'm going to take the last keyframe we did, put it down in the main. I don't need to refresh main. Pull it back over. It didn't seem to change, but I'm just being paranoid about it because I don't want to have a mismatch between my animation sequences. Okay, so I am going to repeat this 18 times. Let's just do just for now. All right, so let's not be too crazy here. All right, so this is going to start on, all right, keyframe number 12, which will take us to 13, and I'll put all these numbers in later. All right, and I'm going to repeat that process, and whatever number that will wind up, I'll fix all this later. I'll update all that later. I just want to get the move in. I'm going to save the documentation. So here we go. So why don't we do this? We're going to do a 20. We're going to do a clockwise. All right. Is that clockwise? Yeah. All right. So there's my first keyframe where it's going to go right there. And I could do this, or I could press the F key. And I do not have the F key turned off. So the F key for me is going to work. F key. That went up into my keyframe stack. All right, now punch it, F. Punch it, F. What am I? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Got it. Okay. All right. Good. Very good. So here is my keyframe. I started on keyframe 12, right here, 12. And this is where I start my roll. All right, and that took me up to keyframe 29. So now I've got to put that in. So 29, which is going to take me to 30. All right. And again, I'm not worried about these subframe counts right now, because I may trash this whole thing. We don't know until we actually run this preview and see what it looks like. I'm going to save my documentation. This documentation is precious to me, because if I lose this, I have no idea. I have no indication that that's a roll. Well, I guess I do. I guess I do. That's pretty cool, huh? All right, now, so this is keyframes 12. So I'm going to actually render a preview starting one keyframe back so that I get that full animation sequence move in to the last. All right, so we're going to end this session a little bit early, and in between sessions I'm going to render a preview, and we're going to see what kind of motion we have here with our forward barrel roll. We don't want to be too fast, which is why I kept the forward speed up here that we knew worked. All right, and I didn't want to make 60 keyframes, so I compromised by having more of a roll angle. So it might all flush out pretty nice when we actually animate the thing. All right, so let's end the session here. I'm going to do a preview, and what I am going to do is I'm going to save this, and so where are we? We're session 18, 19, 20. All right, 120 at, and I'm going to say I don't know if the keyframes are good or not. I'm going to say forward barrel roll. Forward 360 barrel roll. All right. I'll see you in the next session.